Hello, my friends, and happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me today for what has become a tradition around this time of the year. So it's kind of a quirky tradition, and I believe I started doing these maybe 6, 8 years ago. I don't even know. But these are Christmas spiders, and they have sort of evolved into a little bit of an eclectica tradition where every year I come up with a new Christmas spider or maybe a set of several Christmas spiders. And as I do the tutorial, I tell the story of how this came to be. So again, thank you for joining me for this kind of a special tutorial. And this is my newest Christmas spider. So this is the Blingy Spiders set. And this is what they all look like. And I have to say, I have really enjoyed making new ones every year. In fact, it started out as Christmas spiders, and then I started making Halloween spiders as well, which I suppose is probably a little bit more intuitive to most people. But this is a story that originates in Germany as well as parts of Eastern Europe, like Ukraine, which is where I'm from. And so it's a really sweet story that explains the origin of tinsel. So I'm sure you guys have heard this from me many times, and if you're new, then welcome, stick around, and you will hear the story as I show you how to make these little sparkly arachnids. And they're not scary at all. Please, please, I know some people are like, eek, spiders, but they are very friendly. Look at how friendly they are. They can dance. They're very sparkly and fun for the holidays.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Fonda.
And she adds, I'm not a spider person, but love these beauties.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much.
Jeline says, hello.
Hi, Jeline.
Lonnie says, good afternoon here. I made it.
Hi, Lonnie. So glad you made it.
Karen says, good evening, everyone.
Hello, Karen.
Ellen says, hi, Irina and everyone.
Hi, Ellen.
Lonnie says, the blingy spiders are great.
Yay, I'm so glad you like them.
Debbie says, hey, everyone.
Hi, Debbie. I just realized I forgot a sparkly spider body, and I'm looking for it as we speak. Okay, I found it, you guys. Crisis averted.
Lori says, good evening. Sends a smile and a snowman.
Oh, thank you, Lori. I love, well, of course, who does not love smiles? I do like snowman, but when
Only
you're
the
a
kind you
kid-
make?
Exactly. Right now, I only like the kind I make out of beads. You guys saw them last week. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to love to make them. But oh my gosh, I don't even like to go outside anymore when there's snow. It's just so cold.
Sherry says, they're gorgeous, Irina.
Oh, thank you so much, Sherry.
Connie says, good evening, everyone. I made it to alive. Yay.
Hi, Connie. Yay. So glad you made it.
Katie S. says, happy Thursday, all.
Thank you, Katie, and happy Thursday to you. All right, ladies. So I do have a couple more spiders to show you. Just to kind of, just to show you some of my other little arachnid friends. So these little spiders, that you can tell they're quite a bit smaller than what we're making today. So these are the 6 lucky spiders, which we have been making this kit for a few years now. This one is very, very popular. So we just keep making more every year, and actually not just at Christmas time. So this is my tiniest spider. And then I have one that I did not grab. It is It's an owl spider, and I made those for Halloween. So we do have those in the Etsy shop. And of course, last but not least, these are somewhat similar to what we're doing today. And these are my sparkly spiders from last year. And I think there might even be one or two still in the Etsy shop. And these are pretty popular. So we will most definitely try to restock them when they sell out. But today we are going to be making the very, very blingy spiders, these guys right here.
Connie says, love the blingy spiders.
Yay, thank you so much, Connie. So glad you like them.
Oh, Sherry has a good question. She says, maybe you already said it in the beginning, but I joined late. Will these be kits? Thanks.
Oh, yes, Sherry, thank you so much for asking. Yes, absolutely. In fact, all of these are kits, and as of today, we just listed the blingy set of spiders. They're in our Etsy shop, and of course, they will be in as featured on Facebook section. Very, very easy to find. So please, whenever the mood strikes you, go to our Etsy shop and check out the kits. Okay, ladies, so I think this is probably a good time to get started. So what we have in our kits are two different gauges of wire. Wire gauges are very important, and also it's very important whether you work with dead soft or half hard. In this case, it is half hard. And so the reason we want half hard is because we want the body to hold its shape as well as the legs. So we have two different gauges of wire, and the body is being held by 20 gauge wire. And so the little what is it? Lampwork bead, right? So I actually have three different beads. These little spiders are very diverse. So we have a lampwork bead, we have a Swarovski pearl, and lastly, we have this very blingy bead for the blue guy. And so I'm going to be making the red spider today. So I will move their little friends. So we have a little more room. And we are going to make a loop. So again, I'm working with 20 gauge wire, and this is half hard wire. And I'm just making a little loop. And whichever way you want these guys to hang, I would probably make that loop a little bit larger, or maybe not. I mean, this is a large enough loop. So this is going to be the front of the spider. And so we'll string his head on first. And then we will string his body on, or maybe her body. And I like to leave about 4 to 5 millimeters between these two beads, okay? So, or if you want to, you can just go ahead and move the beads together and leave about 4 or 5 millimeters of wire at the back. Either way, we can move these beads very easily. So we will make that work. And now I'm just going to snip off any excess wire, and we're going to make another loop. So obviously you can hang the spider off either loop, or if you want to be super clever, you can always change them into a brooch or a pin. Okay, so here we go. So make sure you have a large enough loop for the loop that's holding the body bead on the wire, because the hole here is just a little bit larger. So you don't want to go too small so that the loop does not slip out. Okay guys, so now I have already pre-cut my 22 gauge wire, and we are going to, this is 22 gauge, again, half hard. And what we're going to do is fold every length of the 22 gauge wire in half. In the meantime, I don't think I said, these are 6-inch segments. So I cut 4 segments, 6 inches a piece, and this is what I'm doing. I'm just folding them right in the center. So I want you guys to know that this bead is a little bit delicate. So let's make sure we're not squeezing it real hard as we hold on to it. Because if you're holding on for dear life, you could possibly collapse it. It'll take a little bit of weight, of course. So we're just going to be a little bit delicate, which is also why when you get your kits, you will see that we have taken a little extra caution to protect the bead from breaking in shipping.
Kim K says, Happy Thursday, everyone. Your spiders are so festive.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much.
And Cheryl says, love the new sparkly spiders. They're so fun to make.
Thank you. Yes, they are really fun to make, you guys. And I certainly hope that you guys enjoy making these as well. So in the meantime, I am just folding all 4 of my segments in half. And, just make sure you're not kinking the wire. The straighter it is, the easier it's going to be to work with. Okay, so now I am going to start wrapping the wire around this little space that we left. So the goal here is to secure each segment of wire, because eventually it's going to become each segment is going to be 2 legs for the total of 8 legs, of course. Okay, so while I am wrapping these onto, we'll just call this the neck of the spider. And I know real spiders don't actually have a neck. But, I don't know what else to call it, so we'll just refer to it as the neck. And so if I need to go around a couple of times, go for it. And so however many times you need to go around in order for this to be nice and secure. Also, as you can see, I'm using my chain nose pliers to just kind of gently pinch the spider, the wire that goes around the neck. So the leg wire. So while I am doing this, I think let's just go ahead and start telling the story of the Christmas spider.
Yolanda says, good evening. I just found you.
Hi, Yolanda. Is this your first time ever joining us? Oh, no. I know. We've talked before. So welcome. I'm so glad that you found me. And so I hope you like spiders, or at least these kinds of spiders. And again, I'm about to tell the story of the Christmas spider while I am wrapping all the little legs. So much like all the stories begin, once upon a time, there was a poor widow, and she lived in this little house with her children. And they were very poor. They were so poor that they could not afford to get a Christmas tree. However, luckily, there was a pine just outside of their little house with a dirt floor. And so one time, somehow, a little pine seed started growing inside their house. And so, of course, that was very, very exciting because that was going to be their Christmas tree. And so they tended to the little tree and watered it. And still, come Christmas, they could not afford to decorate the tree. And so, it was a little bittersweet that they had this beautiful tree, but could not afford to decorate it. And, so let me interrupt myself for a second. So there are versions of this story where the tree grows inside, the tree grows outside. There's so many different versions depending on where you're from. So you can fill in the blanks as you want to. Anyway, so they all go to bed on Christmas Eve. And in the meantime, the little spiders come down from the attic and create the most beautiful lacy patterns on the tree. And when they get up in the morning and the sun, okay, so I have wrapped the wire, and as you can see, I did it in a very organic way. So now I'm just going to grab my chain nose pliers and maybe do just a little bit of tightening. And since this is round wire that we're working with, ladies, it's going to be moving a little bit, but at the very end, I will show you a little trick. If you don't like the movement, we can most definitely make it stay in place by using just a little glue. So we'll do that at the very, very end.
Yolanda says, I'm a regular. Your spiders are so cute.
Oh, thank you so much, Yolanda. Yeah, when you first said I just found you guys, I thought you were a new Yolanda.
Sherry says, do you put these lives on YouTube?
Sherry, good question. No, we do not. I think we have done that with a couple
With some of the older ones.
long time ago. But no, these lives are only available through Facebook. But the good news is that we archive them all. And we have like a schmillion of them archived. So you can watch, hundreds at this point, if not thousands, of videos that I've made. Okay, guys. So now we're going to take a tiny, tiny little break from the story, and we're going to start beading. So if we look at the legs of our little spider friend, this is what we have. We have 3 seed beads. Then so let's just get the beads ready. So we're going to start with the seed beads. Then we have these little, I don't even know what to call them. They're like these very festive little rectangles, almost like a long cube. And so we have that, and then we have some of the red thunder polish, and finally these very, very festive long drops. So I will say that all of the legs are exactly the same. So now all we have to do is just bead our little spider. Okay, so we start out with 3 of the seed beads, and so we'll do this little rectangle and another seed bead, then a thunder polish, and now a long drop. So, oh, actually, no, I skipped a seed bead. So everything is spaced with these little silver seed beads. It's very, very easy. If in doubt, just put a seed bead on it. Very easy to follow pattern, even when you're talking. Okay, so it looks like I need one more drop and done. Wait a minute. Why did I pick up a seed bead? I meant to pick up a drop. Okay, guys, so this is the entire pattern. So what I'm going to do now is just use my flat nose pliers and make a 90-degree angle. Let's do one more leg. I'm not going to do all the legs right now during the video, but we'll just do one more. Or should we just do all of them? Okay, Tony is saying, yeah, let's do all of them. We can do that. Okay, so, well, it takes me, it gives me a little more time to tell the story then. Okay, so where did we stop? So the little spiders came down from the attic. And of course, they decorated the tree with their webs in the most beautiful pattern. And of course, when the widow and her children came down in the morning, they were astonished because all of the spider webs turned to silver and gold as the sunlight hit them. So, is there magic involved? Of course. And according to some of the versions of the story, maybe Santa turned them into silver and gold. So you decide. And that's pretty much the end of the story. So that is why, according to some of the traditions, the holiday traditions, we put a spider on our tree. Okay, guys, so here is the second leg. So what I do is I just make a 90-degree angle as soon as I finish the leg. And once I'm done with all 8 legs, I'm just going to make, well, you can make loops or you can make spirals. So whatever makes you happier. And so I will also say, don't stress over the length of the legs, because if you pre-cut, the wire to about 6 inches, it is going to be a little bit more than what you actually need for the legs. So 6 inches is a good length. You'll see I'll actually be cutting a little bit off. And I just realized I actually did not grab all of the beads that I'm going to need for all the legs. So maybe I'm just going to finish this third leg and we'll call it a night. And so in the meantime, you guys, going back to the story, so in my mind, that is the origin of tinsel. How cool is that? So all those little spider webs turned into gold and silver tinsel. Okay, guys. So I'm just going to do 3 legs. And you can see this one, I don't have quite as much wire because I probably wrapped twice. And again, as long as you don't wrap multiple times, you should have enough wire, cutting it to about 6 inches per each length. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to cut some of the wire off. And of course, normally I would finish all 8 legs and then decide just how much wire to cut off, but you get the idea. So we're just going, so it's up to you how much you want to leave, But for a little spiral like this, you're going to need roughly 1/2 inch. So that's what I'm going for. And we're going to start the loops with our round nose pliers. So as you can see, I made all of the wire ends a 90-degree angle. And this is going to be just like, you know, when you make a loop. And then, so first you make a 90-degree angle, and then you go in the opposite direction of the bend. It's going to be exactly like that. However, before we start making the spiral, we're going to go in right here where we started the loop, and wherever you hold on to the end of the wire, that little bit of wire is still straight. So whether I'm making loops or spirals or maybe wrap loops, I always make it a point to cut off that little straight part of our spiral. And I just did that. So now, again, going back to my round nose pliers, I am going to continue making the loop. And if I wanted to make little teeny tiny spirals, I could do that as well, just by squeezing that little loop and making it even smaller. And I like doing that. I prefer not to have a very large opening in my spiral. And so now I'm going to continue making the spiral, and I'm doing this just with my chain nose pliers. And once I have about a spiral and a half, I will, even though I don't have a whole lot of wire left, but it will actually be a little bit easier if I switch to my flat nose pliers. So just imagine this is like a little bit like a, what am I thinking? You know, when you do a whole bunch of steps at once.
Assembly line.
Assembly line. Thank you, Tony. So this is a little bit like that, where you make all 8 legs and then you do the step on each leg. And so once you have all 8 legs done, okay, so we're just going to use our imagination, but actually what I'm going to do is show you what your spider is going to look like once all 8 legs are done. So this guy is stretching, he's doing yoga. So he's just stretching all his little legs right now. And then we're going to reshape the legs. So once you're done beading all 8 legs and making the spirals on all of our 8 legs, this is what your spider is going to look like. So now all we have to do is simply shape the legs. And I'm just going to reshape them to what they were before. So just with your fingers, you really do not need tools for this. Well, actually, your fingers are the best tool for this. So just give all his legs a little bit of a curve, just like that. It's just so very easy. And once all of his legs are shaped nicely, you just go in with your flat nose pliers. Okay, so all of the little spirals are going to be in line with the leg. So just bend the spiral or his little foot upward just a little bit. And we're going to do that on all 8 legs. Okay, so that's it. That's all there is to making a Christmas spider. Ta-da! And maybe we want his legs to be a little more spread out, so something like that. So you just give him a little character, a little personality. And here is our Christmas spider. Okay, guys, what do you think? Was that easy? And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to grab a preview project for next week. So Tony is offering to grab the preview project, and in the meantime, we can chat. So next week, I am just continuing with the holiday projects, and we're going to be making quite a few different things. So he's going to grab whatever samples he can find. But the main theme of the video next week is going to include the fairies. No, not the fairies. Well, maybe. Actually, yes, there are two fairies. My gosh, there's so much. I almost forgot what there is. So they're going to be angels and fairies. In fact, they are actually dancing fairies. There's a snowman, and there might be another surprise yet. So, you wait a week and everything changes. So in the meantime, the kit includes the Christmas spider story. I'm talking about the spider kit, of course. So when you get it, it will include the story. And actually, I'm sure it's told a little in a more detailed way than I just did. And I'm sure it's more cohesive and it flows better. But you get the gist. So in the meantime, thank you, Tony. So Tony just brought me some of my little dancing angels. And here they are. I have lots and lots of different colors. And I'm thinking he probably did not find the fairies, because I do have fairies as well. They're very cute. And so here's another kind of angel. And there will be another surprise. In fact, the surprise is a different colorway for the dancing angels. And the fairies, you will just have to join me next week and see the fairies. Did you bring me the snowman as well? Nope, no snowman. Again, it will be a surprise, you guys. You'll just have to join me and see. So I love these little, here, you know what, I'm going to put down. These are very Victorian looking. These are definitely Victorian fairies or angels, whatever you want them to be. But these are the dancing ones, and obviously they're kinetic. So there is some movement, which is kind of fun. And so what I'm showing tomorrow, all of the pieces, not tomorrow, next week. What I'm showing next week, all of these pieces are large enough for a small ornament and small enough for kind of a large-ish pendant. So it can be either a pendant or an ornament.
Allie says, hi, listening from the car tonight.
Hi, Allie.
These are cute and such a fun origin story.
Oh, thank you so much, Allie.
Yolanda says, so cute.
Thank you, Yolanda.
And Lonnie is wondering, 22 gauge half hardwire?
Yes, indeed, Lonnie.
And she says, angel and fairy earrings too?
Maybe. So, pretty much every week when I do this, I usually come up with something new, like the day before even. So I might have earrings, but in the meantime, you know what? I'm going to make it a point to make some earrings.
Allie says, so pretty.
Thank you so much, Allie.
Fonda says, I saw a beautiful ornament hanging in the store on Tuesday. Can you demo that too? I believe the lady said you used ring memory wire. It's the first ornament by the snowflakes. I think maybe that's
the ring memory wire. Yes, I might be able to do that if I have enough memory wire. Yeah, let's plan on it.
Debbie says, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
Elena says, hello, everyone. I guess I missed a lot. We'll have to watch the replay.
Oh, hi, Elena. Yes, please do. As you know, we archive all of our videos, so you can always watch on the replay. Okay, you guys, in the meantime, so this is our what's coming up, right? So this is the preview. Tomorrow, I'm doing another shopping event, and you guys wanted leather and more gemstone strands, and we're doing just that. So tomorrow's theme is leather and gemstone strands, and there are a couple of other things that you'll just have to be surprised, but they're wonderful surprises. And this is also going to be a little bit like what I did on Black Friday. So this is going to be a little bit like a part 2. If you watch that one, you kind of get where I'm going with this. And then Thursday, December 7th, I'm going to be making dancing angels and other angels and fairies and all sorts of other fun ornaments and pendants and maybe a pair of earrings. And so again, that's going to be December 7th at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time on my jewelry design page. And for next Friday, I don't really have a theme yet. So if you have any ideas, I would love to hear what they are.
Lonnie says, thank you for the beautiful break tonight. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. I will see you tomorrow.
Cindy says, making spiders for my coworkers.
Awesome. Yay, Cindy.
Fonda says, thank you. I love the dancing angels.
Thank you so much, Fonda.
Kim K says, prettiest spiders I've ever seen. Thanks so much for sharing.
Oh, thank you so much. And my little spiders, thank you too for the sweet compliment. Okay, guys. So again, thank you so much for joining me for our traditional Christmas spider video. And again, all of these and so many more little arachnids are in the Etsy shop, and they're all non-scary and blingy and fun. So check them out. So thank you so much for your wonderful comments, and I look forward to tomorrow. So please join me for the shopping event. And in the meantime, have a wonderful and creative evening.